अनुरोध करती हूँ माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी और राज्यसभा के सभापति श्री एम वेंकैया नायडू जी से कि वो हम सभी को अपने शब्दों से अनुग्रहित करें।
महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी, लोकसभा के माननीय अध्यक्ष श्री ओम बिरला जी, सम्मानित मंत्रीगण, सम्मानित संसदगण, गणमान्य अतिथिगण, बहनों और भाइयों, आप सभी को नमस्कार करता हूँ और शुभकामना देता हूँ। माय डियर members of Parliament, representatives who have come from various state assemblies, as the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, the honorable speakers of Legislative Assembly of different states, and also all other concerned with today's function. The development that all nations aspire is all about mobilization and availability of precious resources and their effective utilization. What differentiates the development and the developing economies is this capital base and also its best use. Highlighting the importance of resources, the renewed Kautilya said more than 2000 years ago, the book Ardhashastra, that Kosh Purva Sarvarambha, or all state activities depend first on the treasury. Hence, he argued, utmost care should be bestowed on matters relating to treasury and include a chapter on budgets, accounts and audit. 2000 years ago. About 35 years back, the then Prime Minister, Sri Rajiv Gandhi, noted that every rupee spent, only 16 paise goes to the people. It was a well-meaning statement, not to defame anybody. The idea is to stress on the importance of reaching out to the people. It was taken as a telling commentary on the management of public finances, and since then, no such fresh quantification has been made in public. This brings us to the subject of the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, which is now in its 100th year in the service of the cause of the nation. PAC, along with Public Estimates Committee and the Public Undertaking Committee, constitute the triad of Parliament vigilance over a wide range of government activities and the attendant expenditure. Public Accounts Committee is the oldest and the mother of all committees of Parliament. Its role and importance could be gauged from the fact that it is a dream of every member of the Parliament to be on this committee. Several leading parliamentarians like Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Sri P.V. Narasimha Rao, Sri T.A. Pai, Sri R. Venkatraman, Sri N.D. Tiwari, Dr. Murali Manohar Joshi, Jaswant Singh, and Sri Mallikarjuna Kharge have chaired the PS in the past. Now we have the leader of the largest party in Lok Sabha as the chairman. This is a good tradition, and this tradition should be continued in its letter and spirit, not only in the center but also in all states. Since independence, the complexity of governance has gone up manyfold with the extension of welfare and different developmental commitments on the part of the government. Correspondingly, the budgetary expenditure by the central government have increased from rupees 197 crores in the first budget to 35 lakh crores now, which marks an increase of phenomenal 17,766 times. This huge order of resources either come from the people as tax of various kind or through borrowings, which have to be repaid. I underline, the borrowings has to be repaid. Again, from such collections at the required time and period. People would like to know where and how such huge monies are spent. That is where the Public Accounts Committee comes into picture. Parliament embodies the will of the people, who have an abiding interest till the efficient utilization of the valuable resources and also be assured of the same. Ensuring the value for money is a core aspect of the oversight functioning of the Parliament, which seeks to ensure the administrative and financial accountability of the executive to the Parliament in the discharge of its duty and commitment to the people. Financial accountability of the executive that can be assured by the effective function of the Public Accounts Committee, and also the acceptance of the recommendations of the Public Accounts Committee in true spirit by the respective governments. Public Accounts Committee is the apex committee mandated with the significant responsibility of ensuring every rupee that is due to the government is collected and further spent of the purpose for which it was sanctioned by the Parliament, collected and spent. In a nutshell, the PAC seeks to know how wisely, faithfully, and economically the amounts sanctioned by the Parliament were spent so as to ensure efficient use of scarce resources. Since the Public Accounts Committee became a parliamentary committee after adoption of the Constitution of India, there has been a significant change in the nature, scope, and function over the years. Its scope now goes much beyond the reports of the Comptroller and Auditor General and looks into any irregularity that has been brought into public domain. In developing economies, management of public finances has been a major issue of concern with allegation of corruption and misutilization, resulting in wasteful expenditure. Public Account Committee seeks to check this by seeking to ensure accountability, transparency, and good governance. Effective functioning of the PAC ensures trust of the people in the management of precious resources, which in turn promotes investors' confidence based on integrity of public finances through efficient account keeping and its audit. One criticism that is held against PAC is that it lives in the past and mostly does a post-mortem job. But that is the nature of the functioning of the committee, as it is mandated to examine the appropriation and finance accounts and reports of CAG to find out loopholes, irregularities, diversion, wasteful expenditure, excess expenditure, expenditure of little value, nugatory expenditure, etc., so as to prevent their recurrence. This has a huge deterrent value, as the recommendations of the PAC required the nature of force of law for effective ministries and departments of the respective. The reports of the PAC and the message that flow from there are further amplified by the extensive reference to the same by think tanks and media. Members of Parliament raise questions and debates on the same. As a result, the functioning of the PAC results in the fear of scrutiny on the part of all concerned. The reports of the PAC and its constant monitoring of action taken reports result in continuous improvement in the system. Sidney Webb, British economist and reformer who founded the London School of Economics and dealt with this post-mortem nature of the functioning of the PAC, said, and I quote, "The fact that post-mortem examination does nothing to keep the patient alive is no proof that the existence of a system of post-mortem examination does not prevent murders." He implied that PAC can prevent murders possible Besides critical examination of the functioning of the government with regard to spending and management of public finances, the PAC is essentially also a partner in improving the systems and financial discipline. Late Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Prime Minister at the time, as chairman of the PAC subsequently, said in 1993, and I quote, "Though it is in the nature of working of the PAC to be critical in its approach, we have struck a balance and functioned as a partners with government in the common endeavor of bringing out improvements in the existing system." Partner with the government. All these years, PAC has detected many financial irregularities, procedural lapses, executive delays, and even cases of lack of coordination between different government departments. It has also earned a reputation of impartiality, firmness, and grasp of details. By doing so, the PAC has enhanced the respect of the people for the oversight functions of the Parliament. To give a brief account of the contribution of PAC over the years, based on its recommendation, the ministries, departments are now furnishing action taken reports on the audit paras not selected by the committee for examination. Since 1982, which was not case before, ATRs on audit paras are now required to be submitted within 4 months. It should be scrupulously followed. Audit para monitoring system, portal for real-time monitoring, has been introduced as the committee is keen to achieve zero pendency. Due to committee's recommendation, about 14 lakh Anganwadi centers were made operational during the 16th Lok Sabha. Wage ceiling has been increased so as to bring more workers under ESI schemes, etc. Acceptance of over 70% of the recommendations of the PAC by the government over the years reflect positively on the robustness of recommendations and subsequent systemic improvements undertaken. The idea is to improve the system. Based on the experience of the last 100 years, the PAC may reinvent itself as required to be more effective, handle the complexity of scrutinizing the accounts and audit of expenditure through capacity building, accessing the inputs of experts and information exchanges for setting higher benchmarks and adoption of the best practices elsewhere. Since the audit review is also a core function of the PAC, I suggest that it may be redesignated as Public Accounts and Audit Committee, PA and AC. We are also alive to the present scenario of the governments indulging in doling out freebies for obvious reasons. I don't want to go in detail. For ensuring the welfare and social sanctity of the needy people, there is an important obligation to the government. It is time that there is a wider debate on harmonizing the welfare and development of the objectives. Welfare and development must go hand together. Expenditures must be carefully balanced so that both the short-term and the long-term developmental objectives get equal attention. Since PAC has to examine the effectiveness of resources used in terms of socio-economic outcomes, it may be order of the committee to examine the issue of balancing these two objectives for wider consideration. It may not be out of place to note that on this occasion, the government led by Prime Minister Narendra Bhai Modi over the last 7 years undertaken a wide range of initiatives to ensure effective utilization of limited resources. One illustration is the Direct Benefit Transfer, DBT. No line, no queue, no waiting list, no meeting, no greeting, no shaking of hands and doing in between hands. This should be totally avoided. This should be totally avoided so that the people's money goes back to the people, and that to needy people. Antyodaya, the poorest of the poor, welfare of the poorest of the poor. And also balanced developmental agenda so that people can stand on their own. This country has got great potential. There are a lot of skills available among the people. We have a lot of resources, national. We should utilize these resources in an optimum manner so that people get benefited, and particularly the weaker section, they are given preference. In this occasion, friends, I feel we are in the Central Hall of Parliament, 100th year of Public Accounts Committee. I personally feel the committee system must be strengthened further. The attendance in committees must improve further. The other day, I have noticed that many of the committees, half of the members do not attend. It's a time for introspection. I was hesitant to appoint the same members to the same committee who did not even attend 2 of the 22 committee meetings. But there was criticism that it's being delayed. The idea is to see that this opportunity is provided in the committee system. In the committee system, as was explained by the Public Accounts Chairman, Sri Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, you debate issues without any political listing. And it is closed. It is not open to media. So politics do not come normally, and people discuss issue on merits. So maximum attendance, unbiased discussion, and also trying to be partners in development along with the government, along with the parliament. That should be the motto of these committees. So everyone should utilize this occasion. Second suggestion of mine is that the parliament also, I am the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, speaker also is very much here. The parliament should meet minimum 100 days a year. This should be followed by all. You are in opposition, you demand 100 days. When you come to government, you don't bother about it. This attitude by anybody is not going to help. All the political parties must have a consensus. And also state assemblies should also meet minimum 90 days. Because there are a lot of agenda for the state assemblies also. And more discussion, more and more scrutiny, enlightened discussion, good ideas will come. And those ideas will be useful for the government. Why should anybody be afraid of debate? And the third is, when I suggest this to some people in the government, they say, sir, even the time that is allocated, the days we are meeting, House is not functioning. So this also should be taken care. The House should function effectively, function meaningfully. That should be the attitude of all. We are forgetting political parties. Yes, we are in a political system. Politics naturally will be there, but at the end of the day, people's welfare, country's progress, and also the image of parliament and assemblies has to be kept in mind. On this pious occasion of 100 years of a committee, that every one of us sitting here in this central hall, we have galaxy of leaders' photos here. We have great leaders who have contributed to the value of debates of the Constituent Assembly. We draw inspiration from them. It is not for just offering lip sympathy or services. We must take those debates, these expectations seriously, honestly, and see to it that we all perform our responsibilities. Discipline, time sense, ethics should govern all of us in public life because we are leaders. Every MP also is a leader, MLA is a leader, minister is a leader. So people look to leaders for guidance. We should not disappoint them. Thank you very much. On this occasion, all concerned should introspect and do the needful to enable the Public Account Committee to reinvent itself so as to more effectively discharge its mandate in the ultimate service of the people of our country. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
धन्यवाद माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी।